Leo, okay? So those are how you look at the houses. You look at the cusp, you know? So like this would be the 7th house cusp, right? And what's on the line right there. And for her, it's 29 degrees Gemini. This is Oprah Winfrey, okay? So anyway, this is what it looks like. Now, what you're going to be doing is looking for Venus. Venus looks like a little hangman guy. Like he doesn't have a little thing over his head like Mercury, okay? So just, you're going to be looking for this little icon right here. Oprah has Venus conjunct the Sun. And of course it's in her 2nd house, which is why she's loaded. Well, actually, I don't know if I have her birth time right, but I believe she's Kazemi. Her Sun and Venus, I think, are the same degree within 17, you know, within the 17-minute range. And that is why. And it's in Aquarius, right? So she does really well with groups and organizations. And it's at a 10-degree orb with Mercury, which is why Oprah, through communicating through groups and organizations, she does very well for herself financially. So anyway, okay, so anyway, I just wanted to let you know what it looks like. So if you have your Venus conjunct a planet, that can also change things a little bit, you know? So, you know, I think it's really important to know, you know, the house also your Venus is in can change things too. So you want to look at the house that it's in, okay? So like, for example, I'm going to go through each and all the signs, but I'm just going to give you an example. Okay, like Oprah has it in the 2nd house in Aquarius, right? So, you know, for her, Venus for a woman is how you flirt, right? So she would be showing her intellectual side. She would show that she's different. She's a bit eccentric, you know. She may feel awkward flirting. She may show charisma too within herself, and so she could exude like a sort of confidence because that Venus is conjunct the Sun. And with Mercury here, she would show that she's very communicative as well. So, and she would show that she's secure. She's got security in her life. Because Venus is in that 2nd house. 2nd house is security, you know, earned income, you know what I mean? So this is what she's going to show in order to attract a partner. So, and if a man, Venus would have this placement, this is what he's interested in. So if a man had this placement, I would say, oh, okay, you're interested in somebody who is eccentric, who's very different, who's charismatic in some way, and who you're looking for somebody who's going to offer security in some way, who's secure, you know, and some, you know, in her own finances, you know what I mean? And somebody who's communicative, because it's conjunct Mercury. But anyhow, so I'm going to go through all the signs, and it's really important for you to go to astro.com, even if you have to pause the video and come back, and look at your planetary placements. My eyes are look at your planetary placements and see what sign and house you have Venus in. If there's any conjunctions, conjunctions are like, we got a bunch of planets together like this, that can change things. So for those people who sent me emails, that's not me. I'm not like this, you know. This is a general video for the masses, okay? This isn't individualized, you know what I'm saying? So my hair is a total mess today. This is not individualized. So my advice to you, if you want to get your own personal chart done, I'd be happy to do that. Or order a relationship advisor session on the website, and this way you can get yours done with a partner as well, okay? All right, so that being said, so let's just kind of talk about Aries. What does it mean to have your Venus in Aries? Now, if you're a woman, the way you flirt is you're not shy, you're direct. You're not, this is a girl who's gonna say what she feels, and you know, she's gonna be, the guy may be like, oh wow, you know, she kind of comes on a little strong, wow. So she's direct. She's the kind of girl who doesn't really mind asking a guy out. She's like, oh, I know what I like and I go for it, you know. Venus and Aries, okay? So she's not shy at all. She goes for what she wants. She can be ambitious, you know. The way she flirts is she shows she's ambitious. She shows she's not shy. She shows she goes for what she wants, you know. Now, if you're a man and you have your Venus in Aries, then you're looking for a woman who's ambitious, who goes for what she wants. You're looking for someone who's not shy at all. You're looking for the girl who's very direct, you know. So, and feisty. She could be feisty. She could be argumentative. You know, all those can apply. Okay. So if you have your Venus in Taurus, if you have your Venus in Taurus, and you're a female, the way you flirt is you show a sensual side of yourself. You may show the side that you love to cook. You love maybe make yourself smell nice with perfume. You love, it could be massage, giving massages or receiving massages. You know, there's a sensual side of yourself that you're going to show. And you take pride in perhaps how you look, because Taurus is ruled by Venus. The senses are heightened with Venus and Taurus, so taste, touch, smell, all of that. So you're going to show this more sensual side of yourself, and you may show that you're secure, that you have it together. You know what I'm saying? All right, so if you're a man and you have Venus and Taurus, you're looking for a woman who's more sensual and who does have their stuff together, who's secure, okay? You're looking for someone, I would say, stable, very... Taurus would represent stability, so who offers some sort of stability. Now, if you have, now mind you, the houses play a huge difference in this too. So do conjunctions or aspects to this. So, for example, I'm just going to give you an example of two because I don't have time to go through all of them. But if you have Venus, let's say, in the 8th house, that could be difficult. Because when love is good, when it sucks, it sucks. It could be very intense, very passionate, but very transformative, you know. It could be very deep and very intense, but it could be, you know, very like totally peaks and valleys, you know. Now, when Venus is in the 12th house, it's a very difficult placement. Either the person is very secretive about their love life, or they're in love with people who are unavailable, either emotionally or physically unavailable. You know, that could be a difficult placement, okay? So just saying, so what I'm telling you about the signs, the houses add more to it, so do the conjunctions or aspects add to it as well. But this is a general information for the public, okay? So if you have your Venus in Cancer, okay? Venus in Cancer, I want to say, you're going to show more a side of you. If you're a woman, the way you flirt is going to show you're all about home and family. You are the Betty Crocker of the zodiac. You are, you want to make people feel at home. You're a nurturer. You're going to show your nurturing side. Huge. You know, you're the type of person, oh my God, you know, would you like something to eat? Can I cook for you? Do you need anything? Oh, you don't feel well? Can I get you something? You know, that's the kind of Venus in Cancer. Or they're all about their home and family, and they're mothering to everybody, you know. So this is how the girl is going to flirt. She may, you know, show that she's a little bit shy when it comes to love and intimacy too, be more reserved. Again, depending on the house placement as well, because in the 8th house, that can change things a little bit. So also, if you're a man and you have your Venus in Cancer, you're looking for that type, the nurturing type, the person who's all about their home and family. Can I get you something? How are you feeling? Is there, you know, anything I can do for you? That kind of person. Okay. So if you have your Venus, if the girl has her Venus in Leo, she's going to show that she's charismatic, that she is very, look at me, whoa, the bling, you know, she's going to be dressed to the nines. Everybody can notice her. And somebody just commented on a video I did, another video I have on, I think on YouTube. And it was like, that person's not that way. Leos don't stand out. I know a Leo and they don't stand out. Okay. If their sun is in the 12th house, they may be more reserved, okay? And they get more attention if they travel, okay? But I will say, if you have Venus and you're in the 12th house and you're a Leo, there could be more of a private secretiveness to the love life. And it could be like an unrequited thing sometimes. It could be very difficult placement with the 12th house, like I said before. So you have to look at it all at whole. Again, this is a general, there's so many combinations in astrology that you know, because I'm talking for many people, it's hard to be specific for one person, okay? So we're talking Venus and Leo. So if she's a girl, she's going to show this charismatic side to her, this, whoa, I'm like, I like to have fun and I get attention. When I walk into a room, people look at me. You know, she may show this popularity side to her, and a very charismatic side, and a confident side, because it's the most confident sign in the zodiac, you know. She's going to show that, yeah, I know I get attention. I know I'm confident, you know, she's going to show this. Now, if a man has his Venus in Leo, he's looking for a lot of times, the arm candy. He's looking for the girl when he walks into a room. Every man in that room wants that girl. You know, he wants, this person could be charismatic. This person could be an attention getter. You know, and it depends on the house, like I said, but that's generally pretty much what he's looking for, all right? So if your Venus is in Virgo, if the girl has her Venus in Virgo, she is very much the type of person who's going to flirt by doing little things to show she cares, going out of her way. Like Virgo Venus likes to be of service to others. You know, can I do this for you? Oh, do you want me to pick up your clothes from the laundry? Oh, you know, I can tidy things up for you. You know, they love, and if, you know, so she's going to show that she likes to do little things to show that she cares, you know. This can also be, sometimes Venus and Virgo women will do things that are not really, I want to say, they're so wanting to please their partner that they can lose themselves, you know. So sometimes they may do stuff that maybe they don't really normally want to do because they're trying to please somebody, and, you know, so that's a red flag that they have to basically work on with Venus and Virgo. But they're also going to show communicative side to them too, analytical side, detail oriented. They're going to show that they're kind of perfectionists, and they may show that when they're trying to flirt, you know, like, oh, I can do it for you, I can plan that for you, I can get it together for you, don't worry, I got it, you know. So a woman with Venus and Virgo may be a planner. She may be the type to help you throw an elaborate party or something, but the way I want to say she flirts is to do little things to show she cares. They like to be of service, you know, and help others. Now, if you're a man and you have your Venus in Virgo, you're looking for a girl. Well, first of all, you may have the unthinkable checklist when it comes to looking for a partner. You may have such a picky type of mentality that it may be hard for you to settle down, because maybe the person, you know, I was nude with her and I saw her second toe was bigger than her first toe, and I'm just totally turned off now. I mean, it could be that minute, you know, so you just want to make sure you're not being so picky to the point where you're ending up by yourself, okay? So you have to watch out for that. But for the most part, they want a woman who's detail oriented. They want a person who is communicative, and somebody who does like to do the little things to show she cares, you know. The guy is looking for someone who may be really tidy, very, you know, neat freak type of person. Not all, you know, Venus Virgo is going to be the neat freak, but he may be looking for someone who's like that, who's like, he may be wanting this perfect woman and doesn't exist. So if you're that guy and you have you found the girl and she has 80%, grab her, because 100% is not out there. But Virgo will wait. They're like, no, I'm holding out for that perfect person. I'm holding out. Some of these guys can be single for a long time before they figure out Mrs. Perfect. There's no such thing. So, all right. If you have your Venus in Libra, if you're a woman and you have your Venus in Libra, you're going to show the balance, creative side to yourself. You're going to show that you really care a lot about relationships and partnership, you know, that it means a lot to you. You're going to show, I want to say that you carry yourself with beauty, grace, and tact. Because Libra is not about gaudy, it's not about sleazy or anything like this. So you're going to show you're very classy. You're very balanced, you know. Somebody who takes you out, you dress nice, and they can take you out and know that you're going to act like a lady, and, you know. So you're going to show this very classy side of yourself, you know. And then if you're a man who has his Venus in Libra, you're going to want a woman who is very, you know, who exudes class, grace, and tact in anything she does. And somebody who's beautiful inside and out, somebody who's balanced. And, you know, you want somebody where there's, you know, a lot of harmony. You know, the bickering and the fighting, the guy's not going to like that with this placement. So if the girl's, like, feisty or, like, you know, comes off telling him where to go and how to get there, that's not going to be the woman for him. So anyway, and again, it depends on the house placements or if there's any planets conjuncting Venus, okay? So if Venus is conjunct Mars, he may like that, you know, I don't know. Because Mars is a malefic, aggressive planet, you know, so things can change depending on what the other planet is touching and what house it's in, okay? But these are general. So if the girl has her Venus in Scorpio, she's going to flirt by showing she's very sexual. She's very intense. She's very passionate. She could be on the negative side, she could be jealous or possessive or controlling. But she could be also very, I don't know, super passionate, super intense, you know, wanting that mind, body, soul connection. Yeah, she could be overwhelming to some guys who don't really maybe have a lot of Scorpio in their chart, because maybe, you know, she could come off a little strong with what she's wanting, you know what I mean? And if a guy's just met her, he's like, oh my God, I don't know, you know? And this also plays out if the girl has Venus in the 8th house as well, okay? So now if the guy has Venus in Scorpio, and just so you know, love could be very up and down with this placement with Venus and Scorpio. Love could be very, every relationship that the girl gets in, or the guy, either or, Venus is also how love plays out, could be very transformative and very passionate, very deep, very intense. And, you know, it could, if it ends, it could be very hurt, you know, hurt deeply, because it was so intense. You know, this is such a passionate sign. So I would say men or women who have their Venus in Scorpio or the 8th house, it's a very, you may find that you're really transformed by relationships when they're, you know, beginning and they're ending, and you may find that you feel like, my gosh, it's kind of like when one thing ends, another begins, and which is normal, but you guys go through that a lot. You know, it's very transformative for you, very deep, very intense, very passionate. And some people, because it's so deep, so passionate, so intense, you know, they're like, oh my God, that person was so intense. I can't handle that. I can't handle that. And somebody with Venus in Scorpio could exude like a sexuality about themselves. Like, what is her name? I always forget her name on Modern Family. I can never remember her freaking name. But she exudes like a sexuality, you know. And people who have Venus in the 8th house or in Scorpio can exude that same sexuality, you know. And so they get people drawn to them in a very sexual way. Now, if you're a man and you have your Venus in Scorpio, you want that passionate woman. You want a woman who is very deep, very intense, very sexual, wanting that mind, body, soul connection. You're wanting that maybe the long time, not just a good time with somebody. You know, not that somebody wouldn't have a fling with this, but they're more apt just to want to be with that one person. This would be, I want to say, you have, the guy would have to be careful that this woman was not jealous, possessive, all of that, because that's the lower octave of Scorpio, okay? Very deep, very intense sign. Okay. So, if you have your Venus in Sagittarius and you're a woman, you're going to show a very philosophical side of you, a very spiritual side of you, a very, you know, like you're going to show a lot of knowledge too. You may show that you know a lot of things. You may show that you're different. You're a foreign person from a foreign land. You may show that you like to travel, you know, that you're cultured, that you went far in school. You may show all of these things with Venus in the 9th house. You may like to write or into publishing or teaching. You may show these things to attract a mate. Now, if you're a man and you have Venus in Sagittarius, you may be attracted to a woman who's a different culture, who's from a different land. You may be attracted, and you also may like to travel, but you may be attracted to somebody who has, who's very different in their philosophical beliefs or spiritual beliefs, but there's some sort of a difference in this person that you may be attracted to. This person can even be an outdoorsy type of person who likes to go hiking, camping, all that fun stuff. Maybe more of an outdoorsy kind of a thing for you too. So that's Venus and Sag. Okay. Now, if you have your Venus in Capricorn and you're a girl, the way you flirt is by showing your status. You know, I'm a CEO, I'm an executive, I drive a Lexus, I live in $1 million home. Yet you're showing you're going places in life, you know. Now, if you're a man and you have your Venus in Capricorn, you're looking for a woman who's going places. You're looking for a woman who has status. You're not looking for the woman who says, I want to be a housewife. That's not really your thing, unless it's in the 4th house. She could be a housewife, but maybe she has a business from home. But for the most part, Capricorn itself is somebody who's just very, I want to say, together within their career. They're going places, they have a status, they're going somewhere. So you're not really looking for the girl who's like, oh yeah, I'm not really working right now, and the guy may get turned off by that. He may want somebody who's like, you know, achieving a high status in her life and going somewhere. So if the girl has Venus in Aquarius, now if the girl has Venus in Aquarius, the way she flirts, first of all, it's very awkward. This is the same thing with the guy with Mars in Aquarius. Now, this could be very awkward for her to flirt. She may flirt by doing the opposite of what she wants. She may be, I need to turn up my phone. To know someone as a friend, you know what I mean? Love for them can be a little hard, because I want to say that love, the way it plays out, it can have very like unexpected stops and starts. Things could start quickly, stop quickly. They can have makeup breakup kind of situations going on, but there's a lot of maybe like, this is, I think, one of the other hardest placements to have Venus in Aquarius, because of the fact that the way love plays out, it can be very up and down, kind of like Venus in the 8th house, or Venus in Scorpio, you know what I mean? So this can be a little bit up and down, I will say. Now, if you're a man and you have your Venus in, oh, she's also going to show she's eccentric, and she's going to show that she's very unique. This is the type of woman who goes to the beat of her own drum and does not care what anybody else thinks, says, or does. So if she wants that rainbow hair, she's going to put the rainbow hair. If her friend's like, you know, not everybody's doing the rainbow hair. Why are you doing that? It's like, or you're too old for that. Why are you doing that? She's like, I don't care. The guy's going to love me for me, or he's done. And it's true. These people do their own thing. They don't care what anybody else thinks, you know. So a man for her would be a man who wants an unconventional type of woman, a woman who doesn't go, you know, who does go to the beat of her own drum, somebody who is very eccentric and unique in some way. The guy is going to be looking for somebody who's a leader and not a follower, somebody who does her own thing, who's, she's also going to be, I want to say, he wants someone who could be like a rebel too, a girl who's like, oh, I'm not doing that. She may talk back, she may think, you know, he may like this in her. You know, love for him could be very up and down too. Start quickly, stop quickly, all of that. But he may need space. Both of these people may need space in a relationship. They may like, you know, so somebody who's a pilot may work out well, you know, in this kind of a situation, because he travels a lot. These people tend to need more space too. So he also may be interested in a woman who's also a friend first. So ladies, if you have your Venus in Aquarius, I would suggest trying to be friends first. Or even if Venus is in the 11th house too, you want to be friends first with that person, could be as well. Hey, Devon, how are you? Okay, so if you have your Venus in Pisces, okay, a Venus in Pisces for the ladies, she's going to show that she is creative. She's going to show that she's spiritual. She's going to show that she's in love with love. This is the person who is totally in love with romance, you know? This is the person who watches The Notebook 20 times a year. This is the person who knows every romance there is on TV, and she totally subscribes to the Lifetime channel, the Hallmark channel, and all that stuff, you know? And so she wants, you know, she's going to show that she's romantic, that she believes in the unbelievable, you know what I mean? That she's always thinking, well, it could happen to me, you know? And this is the woman, she needs to be careful though that people don't take her kindness for weakness or play her in some way. So she has to be cautious of that. She also needs to be careful that she doesn't go for unavailable types. unrequited love, or people who are not, you know, around for her. Do you think Pisces is a good match for a Capricorn? Like in general, Devon, to be honest with you, to totally answer that question, I have to look at the entire chart. But Pisces is a very emotional sign, and Capricorn is not as emotional. However, I'd have to look at the entire chart, because this placement, sun sign wise, may work for one couple, Devon, but it may not work for another based on what other planets they have going in the chart. So maybe that Capricorn sun guy has his moon in Cancer, and that's going to be, he's going to be more of a sensitive type of Capricorn. So it may work with the Pisces. So there's a lot of, there's a whole thing you got to look at. I mean, it's not just one thing you look at in a chart, just to answer that question. Okay, so if the man has his Venus in Pisces, he's looking for a woman who's creative. He's looking for a woman who's sensitive, who's, you know, I want to say one thing with Pisces is compassion. The girl's going to be compassionate if she has her Venus, and if the man has his Venus there, he's looking for a woman who's very compassionate. And, yeah, you know, I want to say too, this also with Venus in Pisces, he may be looking for a damsel in distress, so he needs to be careful that he's not looking for someone who is like a science project, and that she has all these issues, and he's just looking to take care of her, so she has to be careful of that too. But he's going to show that he's very compassionate, he's very nurturing, he's very caring, he's very creative, and he's spiritual, you know, and he could be also, you know, the way love plays out for him, he could be very romantic too, wanting that mind, you know, like spiritual connection, you know, the, as they say, the soulmate connection thing, you know. So that could be as well. So let me see. Oh, I'm glad that you like them, Ken. She says, love that you do these videos. I'm glad that you guys like them. Hopefully they're helpful. But like I said, few people commented like, oh, this Leo's not like this or whatever. And I'm like, oh my God. Because now you have to, like, not everybody has, you know, just one planet in the same house, you know. So it depends on the house it's in too, you know. And so Venus can also show you ways in which you may make money in a chart. So, you know, so you want to look at Venus, planets that are around it too, because it can show you ways in which you may bring in some income, you know what I mean? But, you know, again, like sometimes somebody might have, like Venus conjunct Mars is very difficult. It's a lot of passion, but it's aggression. There could be abuse in a relationship depending on what sign and house it's in too. So you got to look at all that. Some Venus conjunct the moon, very sensitive with relationships. Venus conjunct Mercury, you know, communication is going to be huge, you know. Venus conjunct Uranus, ups and downs with love. You know, that's like having Venus in Aquarius when it's conjunct Uranus, you know. Venus conjunct Pluto, same thing. A lot of ups and downs in relationships. Could be very passionate, very intense. Could be a lot of possessiveness, controllingness in a relationship, but, you know, Venus conjunct Pluto could be very, you know, intense, you know, very intense kind of relationship. And these people, when it comes to finances, it could be a lot of transformation that goes with money too. Or they could be into psychology or something, make money in the metaphysical fields too, things like that. But I'm trying to think. Venus conjunct Jupiter, ooh, big love, big love. These people love in a big way, depending on what house it's in. Got to see what house it's in too. Venus conjunct Saturn, oh, that's difficult. Venus conjunct Saturn is difficult because this person could feel like love is elusive to them. Love, you know, could be difficult. They feel like, gosh, I'm just not getting what I want. I feel unlovable, you know, and that's not the truth. What these people need to learn though is boundaries. The bigger the boundaries, the better the boundaries they have, and the more, because Saturn is asking them to become serious and don't put up with anybody's BS. And the more you put up with everyone's BS, the more you're going to get BS. So Saturn is saying once you have really good boundaries and kick people to the curb who don't belong there, you're going to start to get real true love in your life. And these people with Saturn and Venus, they're very serious about relationships. They're not just looking for the good time, they're looking for the long time. I'm trying to think. Venus and Neptune. Venus and Neptune is a difficult placement because these people could be super creative type of people. But these people could feel very duped when it comes to relationships. Either they feel like they deceived themselves, or they feel lied to by a partner, or they may not see the situation clearly. They may look at the situation for how they want it to be instead of how it really is. So that could be, you know, difficult, you know. Venus conjunct the moon can be very sensitive when it comes to love and relationships. There could be a sensitivity with that. Venus conjunct the sun. Oh, love is a focus, you know. It could be like, and you may want somebody who's also very charismatic, somebody who stands out in your life too. So I think I've pretty much covered most of these. Venus conjunct Chiron. You could feel very wounded by a relationship in some way, but you're going to use those wounds to heal other people, to help. I have Venus in Chiron. I have actually, my Venus is conjunct my sun, exact minutes, it's Kazemi, exact minute for the exact minute, exact degree, everything, and it's like 2 degrees away from Chiron. So that's not fun. I'll tell you that right now, it's not fun. But I use that in my everyday life, though, to help other people with what they're going through with relationships, you know. And that's what Chiron's all about. Chiron is the asteroid, the wounded healer, and when it's conjunct Venus, you're using that to help others, you know. So, okay, what else? Venus conjunct Mercury. Communication is going to be huge in love and romance, and even in making money. So you want to look at that as well, and you have to look at aspects, too. Aspects play a role in this, too. So I hope that this helps you guys know about Venus. Does anybody have any questions, or anybody want to ask me a question about if you guys know your Venus placement, or what it's conjunct, or what house it's in and sign it's in? I know on YouTube I do this. That's why I tell people to go to astro.com and look it up, because of the fact that I get people saying, oh no, this was my... It was in Capricorn. Oh, no, it was Aquarius. Oh, I was looking at my 6th house. I was looking at the wrong house, because I had the 8th house videos up. And that's why I don't really do a lot of questions on YouTube, because nobody knows their... I answer it and they're like, oh no, it was this house. Oh no, it was this sign. And before you know it, I've answered, like, I'm like, oh my God, I don't have time to do that. I'm so cramped for time. But when I'm answering questions, you got to know your placement. Venus conjunct Mars and Aquarius. Okay. 12th house. Wow, this is difficult, Kim. Okay, I'm going to tell you right now, you could be a very passionate person, okay? Love for you may be very up and down, and the thing that you have to be cautious for, Kim, is to going for unavailable types, going for people who are either physically unavailable, emotionally unavailable, or like you have to keep the relationship somehow secretive. That could be difficult, you know? And that could be why there's a lot of ups and downs with your love life. And there's a lot of passion, and there could be aggression, and there could be fighting, unexpected fighting because of this as well. Okay, so Kim, I hope that helps you out. The key here, Kim, is try to stay away from unavailable types. If you have to keep your relationship, or you're just very secretive about your love relationship, that's cool. But I think if you're dating unavailable types, this could lead to a lot of passionate energy, a lot of aggression, hostility, ups and downs, make-up, break-up kind of situation, so you want to watch that. Okay, Venus retrograde conjunct the Sun. Wow, you're looking within when it comes to relationships. Conjunct the Sun and Mercury retrograde in the 12th. Wow, a lot of you guys 12 housers in here, huh? Okay, Venus, you're really looking within. And the fact that your Sun is also in the 12th house, you know, again, you got to watch out for unavailable types. One, you know, and Mercury's in there too. So you feel like you can't talk about it. You can't talk about the relationship. Like you feel like, you know, maybe you can't speak about what you want to talk about. And again, I have to look at the rulerships here, what's going on in your entire chart as a whole. But retrograde, you're really, let me just pull this up. You're really looking within, you know what I mean? And I feel in the Sun and Mercury Mercury's retrograde, you got your Sun there. And it's hard to have your Sun in the 12th house. Either your father, I'm curious, Kassane, if you had Saturn retrograde too. The reason I'm wondering is because Sun is in the 12th house, right? So you feel like maybe your dad wasn't in your life, or he worked a lot, or somehow he wasn't there. And because of this, maybe you're a little bit afraid to approach with love. And maybe this is why you go for unavailable types. I'm not sure. And it looks like with Mercury retrograde, I have to look at your whole chart as a whole, because the whole chart gives me a whole story. But Mercury retrograde, you feel like you can't speak about this relationship, or maybe it's a private relationship, or it's a secret relationship. That you have to watch out for. Yes, Saturn, you do have Saturn retrograde. Okay. Yes, it's Saturn retrograde. This is what it tells me. I knew that you had that. The minute I saw everything that. The reason is because you can lack confidence in relationships when Saturn, especially, is retrograde, because you didn't get the nurturing you did from dad to proceed in a relationship. So Saturn makes you so cautious, like, oh my God, they are not going to get me. I am not going to, I am not going to, allow someone to, treat me badly. So you're so cautious that you never really invest, okay? And this could be, too, why you go for unavailable types. You know what I'm saying? That can be really difficult. I'm going to be honest with you. This could be why you go for unavailable types, because it's kind of like a safe place. Like, well, if I keep it this way, then I'm not really going to get hurt. But really, Saturn is telling you, once you just forget it all and let the chips fall where they may, that's when love's going to find you. Do you know what I mean? You may always be private about your love life, but I will say that love will find you when you say, screw it. I'm just going to take the damn chance, and if it happens, great. If it doesn't, oh well. But sometimes we subconsciously go for unavailable types because we subconsciously are afraid to get hurt, and it's like no, they're not going to do this to me, and I'm going to make sure that this doesn't happen. So a lot of Saturn retrograde people have like a wall up. Until they can get over that, yeah, then it gets better, So I hope that helped you. Yeah, it's a difficult placement, I will say. Alrighty. Let's see. Somebody said that it's in Gemini. Oh, okay. Well, if you're Venus, I don't know what house it's in for you, but if you have it in Gemini and you're a woman, you're going to show you're very communicative. You know a lot about many things. You can talk about anything and everything. You're welcome, Cassane, you're welcome. Deidre, you're going to show that you're, a lot about many things, and you can talk about many things, and so you're going to show you're knowledgeable to attract a partner. Venus in Gemini is totally cerebral, Erogenous is known as the mind. So you're going to show your huge intelligence side and your communication to entice a partner. That's how Geminis tend to flirt. Okay. Saturn retrograde. Your dad worked a lot. I knew. Venus and Leo in the 7th house. Well, this is nice. Renee, I'm jealous. All right, so let's see, Renee. So Venus in Leo. Okay, and I know in the United States, Renee could be male or female. So I'm thinking you're a female. So if you're a female, you're welcome, Deidre. You're welcome. Renee, if you're female, I'm feeling like you're going to show that, wow, like when you walk into a room, people notice you. You're going to show you're good looking, you're beautiful. And the fact that it's in the 7th house, this is very nice. This means that the way love is going to play out for you, you may have like a very public type of relationship, depending on what sign rules, let me see, where your sun is as well. But you may be like a power couple, like people see you, they notice you, oh my God, look at them, but all because Venus is in Leo, so it's very noticeable. And in the 7th house, Venus brings like beauty and harmony to your love, to your relationship, to your marriage. And this is very nice, but I'd have to look at your chart as a whole, but I mean, I'm jealous. I wish I had that. All right. All right. Oh, you're a Virgo sun. Okay, and what house? Okay, so if you're a Virgo sun, so that would be your 8th house. Oh, wow, that's nice. I think that, so, no, 6, 7. That would, no, my mistake. That would be your 6th house. So, of work and service to others, So, yeah, I think that, maybe I don't know, maybe you and your partner work together or something like that. You also have to look for rulerships. So like, let's say that you're looking at the house of marriage, and I always ask a client, like, figure out what marriage they're on, because it's important. Or if I could tell in their chart, if Saturn's aspecting in a hard angle, or conjuncting the 7th, in the 7th, opposing the 7th, it tells me that the first marriage, if they get married before 35, they could probably end in divorce, and they could be on a second marriage. So anyway, if you're looking, let's say first marriage is 7th house, second marriage is 9th house, third marriage is 11th house, okay? When you look for this house that you're talking about to the client, and you say, all right, well, you look for that ruler. If the ruler to that house falls in the 12th house, they may meet that person through like a blind date. That could be a good thing, right? But they need to be also careful of unrequited love, or being in love with someone who's not available, who's emotionally unavailable or physically unavailable, or unrequited love. That can be very difficult when the ruler to your relationship house, whatever planet that is, falls into the 12th house. Just saying, that could be a little difficult. My husband is a Capricorn and I'm a Gemini. Oh, nice. Yeah, same thing with Deidre is that when you're looking at sun signs, like I have a whole thing on sun signs on YouTube that, and it's just general. It's so general. To really talk about the way somebody's going to get along with this sign versus that sign, and you should see the fights, the arguments on that page. It's crazy between people. Oh my God, I'm dating this sign and we love each other and you're so wrong and this and that and this and that, you know. But you have to really look at the entire chart. You really do. Because to look at the entire chart, it tells like a whole story, you know what I mean? So if you just say that your husband's a Capricorn and you're a Gemini, you know, I have to see the, you know, where's Venus? Where's the moon? Where's Mercury? You know, where are the rulers to these houses? You know, all of this tells me a story about the relationship. Just like I did with, what was her name? I'm so sorry. I'm trying to find here. Cassane. Just like I did with Cassane. When she gave me some good information about her Venus, the conjunction and everything, I just knew that Saturn was retrograde because it's telling me a story. And I could tell a lot, you know, but she told me that Sun was in the 12th house too. So you got to look at the chart as a whole, just saying, you know what I mean? So yeah, I wish I could just say, you know, but honestly, normally, you know, Gemini is very cerebral, Gemini is a very intellectual sign, and Capricorn is the workhorse of the zodiac, you know, so I wouldn't say it's a bad sign, but air signs tend to go for other air signs or fire signs, okay? Earth signs tend to go for other earth signs or water signs. That's just the, you know, opposite attract kind of thing. So, Venus and Sagittarius in the 3rd house. So, Venus and Sagittarius, for a woman, you're going to show that you're interested in a partner who's maybe from a foreign land or speaks a foreign language because it's the 3rd house, okay? You're going to show the way you flirt could be, I want to say, the way you flirt, you're going to show you're different in some way. Either your culture is different, your spirituality is different, your language is different. You're going to show something, but you can show a very philosophical side of yourself when you start dating someone, a spiritual side. And, you know, so you may show that, you know, I want to say that you're, and you may show that you like to travel, or maybe that you may show that you like to go to different types of places, and or you like different cultures and you like learning about the culture, you like to learn about the language too. You may use your knowledge to flirt in some way. Okay. Oh, she says that's true. That's good to know. Now Babette has Venus and Gemini in the 9th. So okay, you're definitely going to flirt by showing your intellectual side big time. Even your beliefs, you're going to flirt by showing your beliefs, your philosophical beliefs as well, Babette, and through communication, you know, you may show that you like going on trips, taking long vacations. You may like cultures as well. Venus in the 9th house has a lot to do with, it's the house of Sagittarius, so it resembles that sign, but yours is in Gemini, so you may show that you may know a lot. You may show you that you know a lot about culture, about religion, about spirituality. You may know a lot about teaching, writing, publishing. All of these things could also interest you, you know. You could also make money through writing, teaching, publishing, law could be as well, 9th house. So yeah, let's see what else. So I hope this is helpful to you guys to know a lot about Venus. And again, we see here how you tell a story, and it kind of gives you information about, you know, the sign, the house it's in. The conjunction gives an information. Because if she didn't tell me about the Sun being conjunct Venus and in the 12th house, you know, it gave me a connection with the father. The situation with dad is playing out in her relationships. So she needs to work that out. So she goes, that's true. My husband was a different culture and nationality. Good. Okay. And this one, I do like, Babette says, yes, I do like the conversation, even though I'm a Taurus sun. Yeah, because Venus is what you love. It's your, you know, Venus is going to be what you love, and the way love plays out for you. So conversation could be very important, but so is your philosophical beliefs, and your spirituality could too. And you may be interested in foreign cultures, foreign languages, you know, as well. And just people from foreign lands could intrigue you in some way. And maybe travel. A lot of people with Venus in the ninth love to travel. And a lot of people with Venus in the ninth love to go far in their education. They love learning, you know, especially in Gemini, big time. So anyway, if any of you decide that you would like a reading from me, a relationship advisor session, or a natal reading, you can do that on the website. I will put a services button on the bottom here, but if this is a YouTube video, just go below and click on services, and then you will be able to book either a relationship advisor session or a natal reading where I talk all about you and your partner. You or your partner, depending on what you book. But I will talk to you guys soon. She goes, yes, I love foreign too. Thanks. Oh my God, thank you. Thank you guys for coming in the room today and validating what I'm giving you as well. But do you see how just the sign alone isn't going to give you all the information you need? You have to talk about the conjunctions, the rulerships, everything, and the houses it's in, and everything really has its place and gives you even more information on that, you know. So I hope this was helpful to you guys, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.